Welcome to another episode of the Stacking M's podcast. I am Tara Paton, marketing consultant and business coach. And you know here that we focus on marketing, money, and mindset. And today I want to talk about something that, I have experienced, that my clients experience often, and that is fear, right? Or being afraid to do something, being scared. As an entrepreneur, we get into this space, we get into building our businesses and building our brands. And a lot of times things can really be scary, right? You don't know what you're doing. You're often doing it for the first time, and you may be doing it by yourself. So one of the things that I always tell my clients and I always encourage them to do is to act through it. Because regardless if you're afraid, regardless if you are scared, what matters most is how you respond to it and how you actually take action or not, right? And that is going to give you an outcome, whether you like it or not. So what I'm going to talk through today with you is how you can actually deal with the fear to get the point of taking action. So the first thing I will say is that fear is absolutely normal. Everybody feels fear, right? If somebody tells you that they're fearless or they don't fear things, that is absolutely a lie. It is a natural human emotion, and it is something that you're going to experience or something that you have experienced. So I don't want you to feel like you are an alien or you are alone in feeling fear. It is absolutely normal and human to feel fear. Some of the fears that you may experience as an entrepreneur is fear to make decisions, fear to take risk, or even fear to move to the next level, right? You know everything that you need to do, but you're not doing it because you're fearful of what's to come. A lot of times I talk to people and they're fearful of success. They are fearful that their business is going to blow up and they're not ready for it, right? But within that fear, oftentimes fear is just in the way of the things that we want. And fear is really set up to protect you from things that are harmful, but sometimes fear gets in the way of things that are actually going to help us progress and elevate our businesses, our lives, our minds. So I want you to embrace the fear. I want you to acknowledge it. Whenever you are feeling fear, whenever you are afraid, speak it out, right? And if you don't have someone to talk to about it, you can write about it. Put it in a journal. State what the fear is. State why you are feeling that fear and how it's actually impacting how you are showing up, how you are performing, the decisions that you're making. And then I want you to also put down a list, right? We're going to do a pros and a cons. I want you to write out all the things. What are the worst things that can happen based off of whatever it is that you're afraid of? What are the worst things that can happen? Write them all down. And then I want you to write down what are all the great things that can happen? What are all the positive things that can happen? And then I want you to look at this list and I want you to kind of take stock of, okay, how realistic is it that the things on this list can happen, right? How realistic is it that the things on the worst side of the list are going to happen? Oftentimes, fear plays with our mind and it makes us think up situations and instances that may not even happen or may not even be in the trajectory of where we're going, but we are creating these experiences in our mind that can actually cause us to feel more fear than necessary, right? Because the things that you put down on the list that is like the worst that can happen, they most likely won't happen, right? Now, what you're doing by not acting on the fear is you just are staying stuck. You're staying frozen. You're not going to move forward. You're not going to progress. So I want you to look at the positive side of the list, and I want you to say to yourself or write it down or check mark it off, what is likely to happen, right? If I push past this fear, if I move and I take action past this fear, these positive things can happen. But you'll never know if you allow the fear to keep you stuck and you allow the fear to keep you frozen, but you've already lived through what the bad situations could be because you're thinking of worst case scenarios. So do that, write it out, and then I want you to take action. Now, taking action can be hard, But you have to remember and you have to go back to, what are your goals? What ultimately do you want? Sometimes fear is often disguised as sometimes an excuse is often disguised as fear, right? So are you making excuses for not taking action? Are you making excuses for yourself? Are you making excuses for your business, right? So make sure that when you are getting ready to take action, you're not putting additional roadblocks, hurdles, things in your way that can get in your way that are going to cause you to not take action, to move past the fear. Now, as far as taking action, maybe you need to get an accountability partner. I actually have an accountability partner. We meet every Friday at 9 a.m. It's a 30-minute call. We have specific questions that we go through. And you best believe on Friday mornings, right? Most people, some entrepreneurs don't even work on Fridays. But I get up and I make sure I'm on that call, and I make sure that I've gotten the things done that I said I was going to do, regardless how afraid I am of doing them or how scared I am of the outcome, right? So get an accountability partner. Be very intentional about how you all align. Be very intentional about what you all are talking about. It can take 20 to 30 minutes for both of you to go through what progress you've made and what steps you have actually taken to push past that fear. But again, you want to make sure that you are taking action. Don't just get on a call and be like, hey girl, this week was really tough for me and I didn't do anything because I was scared. That's not acceptable, right? You got to continue to move forward, to push past that, and to get through the fear. That's the only way that you're going to get through it. Now, I often tell my clients that it takes practice, right? It's as easy, right? It sounds very easy by me talking about it right now. Like, hey, just take action, get an accountability partner, do this, do that. But I do understand that it takes practice. So you have to get in the habit of doing things that you are absolutely afraid of. If you're afraid of heights, you need to go to the tallest building in your city. You need to get on the Ferris wheel. You need to go get on a roller coaster, right? If you need to go jump out of a plane, jump out of a plane. Get in the habit of doing things that you are absolutely afraid of in your personal life, because it can also help you in your business, right? You are a person, you are experiencing all of these things. You're experiencing life, you're experiencing business. The more you push yourself personally, the more you're actually going to be able to push yourself in business. So find some things that you're afraid of. If you're afraid of spiders, I might not go this far, but put your hand in the tank with some spiders in a controlled environment where the spiders don't bite and you won't get, poisonous and stuff like that. But learn to face those fears, right? Because it's only going to make you a better person. It's only going to make you a better business person, founder, entrepreneur. And these are things that are going to, you're going to carry throughout the rest of your life. And when you actually get to the other side of the fear, because you've actually taken action, you'll be so proud. You'll be much more confident. You will just have so much more resilience that you've built in, that you will be able to literally face anything, right? Now, I'm not saying you might not be afraid of it, you might not be scared, but you will know how to face it because you're practicing and you're using that muscle, and you're often facing things that you are afraid of. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. I hope that, along this entrepreneurship journey and in life, that you are facing your fears head on. You're acknowledging them, giving them space to breathe, right? It's okay to feel emotions. It's human. You're human. Just because you're an entrepreneur, CEO, business owner does not mean that you don't have emotions, right? And especially if you are a woman, a Black woman, you want to make sure that you are feeling those emotions and not suppressing them. All right. So I love y'all, and have a great rest of your day, night, wherever you are. And I will see you next time on the Stacking M's podcast.
So it's that creating warm audiences. That should always be our goal, taking the cold and turning them into warm. And we should be doing everything we can to bring in more warm audiences, because the more warm audiences we have, the bigger our warm audience, the better our chance to actually sell to them.